News First, Newsline Prime with Araz Shaukat Ali.
Hello, good evening. This is Newsline at a new timing, so it's called Newsline Prime. And welcome, and this is, as usual, we're broadcasting live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo, from the newsroom. And our guest this evening, to mark the first of our Newsline Prime programs, is Mr. Azad Saleh and Mr. Maitri Gunaratne. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Faraz.
I was about to say good morning, but still. We haven't changed Newsline from mornings, actually. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's 7 o'clock to 7:30 at the same time on TV1. Now then, gentlemen, so many things are happening. The talk of the town must surely be the news that Sri Lanka cricket have lost to Afghanistan, and a proposal made by somebody who clearly loves cricket, who said that Sri Lanka cricket will now be moved to the disaster management ministry. Is that the way you feel about all these?
When the country is getting sold out for us,
Yeah.
so you have to expect this also.
I see. Well, it's a crying shame, isn't it, that this is happening. And on top of all that, of course, the Sri Lanka cricket administration is in the hands of a so-called competent authority. How competent that person is rather questionable at the moment. Still, now then, on other matters, Maitri Gunaratne, we have the police commission and the IGP seemingly at odds with each other.
Yes.
Then the information, somebody said today that both the President and the Prime Minister have asked him to resign, swiftly rebuked and refuted by the Prime Minister's office, saying that they had nothing to do. Well, of course, we have to bear in mind that neither the President nor the Prime Minister can actually remove the IGP. It's the Constitutional Council.
That's right. That's right.
But what's the purpose of having a police commission if the IGP isn't paying any attention to them?
Well, that's a good question for us. The police commission is there to administer and see whether there are any shortcomings in the police service.
Yeah.
And then thereafter correct it. But here when the IGP himself is acting, I mean, I call him a joker, right? He's acting like a joker. I mean, what does anyone do? Because normally when a person is put into that position, there is so much of screening done before he's nominated to that position. Now, after having done all the screening, you put this guy and he is completely going berserk, right? So I think the President should write to Parliament and move that he be removed. And we cannot go on like this, because the police service, I don't think, has been so bad, right? And even with regard to this Nalaka, DIG Nalaka's attempt, assassination attempt, or conspiracy to assassinate the President and other political leaders, the IGP started the investigation itself, prejudging the whole thing. They're saying that they had doubts on the video recording.
Right.
So our police service today has become a service where when you go as a complainant, the complainant ends up being the accused.
Right.
And the accused becomes the complainant. So it is a lopsided system which is in existence today. So therefore, I think it is time. I mean, I think the IGP should have been got rid of 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And on the other hand, he should have never been appointed as the IGP. I don't know why he was appointed as the IGP, but at least now they should somehow.
As a legal man, what are the legal remedies available to the public now?
Public has no legal remedy to do anything. Public can.
So how does one get rid of him?
No, you have to. The President will have to write to Parliament and ask him to be removed
through the Constitutional Council.
There is a process, and he has to write to Parliament, and the Parliament has to approve it, and then thereafter he will be removed.
So these things seem to be taking up our valuable parliamentary time when in fact the country is sinking
No,
everywhere else.
It's not the valuable parliamentary time for us. It is the ruination which is being caused to the police service. Parliamentary time, I mean, the parliamentarians anyway have to go to parliament so many days a month and attend to their business. This is their business. But just imagine what is happening to the police service. When you take the police service, it has gone to the dogs. Right? And who is paying for it? The poorest of the poor are paying because they cannot even lodge a complaint. Their cases are not being heard. The police are not active. You make a complaint or you give a call to a police station, they will take so many hours to come. So many hours to come to as a response. So I mean, this country, the police are not protecting its citizens. That's all.
That's all. Now, Azad Sali, very silent you are. I wonder why. Why are you silent? What have you got to say about all these things?
I have to give the opportunity to Maitri. You have asked a question from him.
Yes.
Very pertinent.
I'd like to ask you.
Matters will be very easy. Without going through all this parliamentary procedure and all that. If they can ask him to resign, he resigns. That's all.
But he won't.
Only if he doesn't want to resign, then the question of the other remedial measures have to be taken.
No, sir, I think he's not all that good in his head, right? He's going cuckoo, and he will not resign.
Do you think he's got Asperger's syndrome?
I don't know what syndrome, but he has got some syndrome where I, of course, feel he's not going to resign because he seems to be enjoying what he's doing. He seems to be enjoying what he's doing.
Now, Azad Sali, there are several issues here. Another item that is rather contentious, of course, is the Singapore Free Trade Agreement. And today we had the sensational information coming from Malik Samaravikrama's mouth himself that Arjuna Mahendran was indeed present when this whole agreement first started life, and that at the time Minister Samaravikrama confirms that Arjuna Mahendran was at the time the governor of the central bank.
And also is talking about not giving the message to the people after signing also. The propaganda.
He said propaganda.
Propaganda. So was that planned? And why are they coming out now and trying to tell the public, we did it and we couldn't inform you? That is the message that he is giving. So everything they will do. Now see, for us, from the time this government came into office, you see contradictory statements coming up from the top to the bottom. Everything is contradictory. Now you saw Malik Samaravikrama makes a statement to say Palali is given and they have already signed an agreement. The minister in charge is saying, what nonsense, what rubbish. The Prime Minister, myself and John Amartunga, we three have got together and put a joint cabinet paper that the forces are going to develop Palali and 380 aircrafts are going to come down there. So we are not giving any development. I am giving 1,000 million and 750 million I am giving immediately, and John Amartunga has promised to give 1,000 million from that. From his fund, that is the tourist board fund, and he is giving out of his aviation fund, and this is how the airport is going to be developed. So see, in one parliament, in one country, one government, two statements. I mean, are they thinking that the whole country are set of fools?
You said that the IGP may have lost the plot, but it appears to me that it's not just the IGP.
The whole country.
All of them in power have lost the plot.
In different degrees.
In different degrees.
In different degrees.
But
and for us now, adding a little to what Azad is saying, now Minister John Amartunga trying to give 1,000 million to the development of the airport. I mean, as it is, tourism in this country, which is the only area we can develop, and we don't need infrastructure for it, because we have all beautiful sites in this country, right? Everything is in place. But all we need to do is to get the tourists to get into the planes and come to Sri Lanka. Now we have failed in that. We have failed in that. This tourism minister has failed, right? And if you take a paper today, there are still 50% discounts on hotels. 50% discounts on hotels. Now tell me, for us, if there is a very, very vibrant tourist arrival in this country, can any hotel afford to give 50% discount? right? So if hotels are giving 50% discount, that means
it's a sign
tourism,
of the times.
it's the sign of the times,
Right.
right? So tourism is not doing well. I mean, they are spending money on everything else other than promoting Sri Lanka as a destination where tourists should come to Sri Lanka.
Well, it's terrible news indeed. But do you know Malik Samaravikrama's actions in terms of this FTA? Maitri, if you remember, if you cast your minds back to the Rajapaksa administration and when the Chief Justice was Sarath Singh Silva, and in the matter of the Sri Lanka insurance, the privatization of that, the Cabinet of Ministers at that time reserved the right for themselves to decide whether they were going to do this Sri Lanka insurance, whether it was going to be an outright sale, or as the President wanted at the time, Chandrika Kumaratunga, whether they was going to bring it in as a management, with foreign management. The President at the time wanted that. But whatever happened, the Cabinet didn't make the decision. That decision was made by the Treasury. And that was the reason why the Chief Justice at the time threw it out, saying that it was very clear from the Cabinet proceedings that they wanted to make the final decision.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was made by, at the time, the Treasury Secretary.
Yes.
And on that basis, that was one of the reasons cited. Now, it's the same thing here. The Cabinet this time round said that this agreement needs to be sent to the Attorney General's Department for their opinion on it. And they wanted it to come back thereafter so that the Cabinet could then make a final decision.
Yes,
in between, Malik Samaravikrama signed an FTA. This is not his private company.
Definitely. I mean, this is not the first time he has done it for us. If I may go back to that coal tender, Supreme Court decides saying that the tender should not be awarded to this company.
Yeah.
And that's the Supreme Court decision of the Chief Justice. Then the Secretary of the Ministry, what he does is he circumvents all that and puts another cabinet paper asking it to be given to that same company which the Supreme Court said not to give it to. Then what happens is they put it to the Cabinet Economic Subcommittee.
Yeah.
Where Malik Samaravikrama and all these the A team, Ranil Wickramasinghe's A team, is
the royal team.
The royal team.
The royal team
is in the cabinet, and that cabinet economic subcommittee
Yeah.
is more powerful than the cabinet.
Yeah.
The economic subcommittee more powerful than the cabinet. So that economic subcommittee, I think, has done so much of damage to this country because they have taken decisions which the cabinet is not even aware. And when it is put to the cabinet, what the Prime Minister and what Malik Samaravikrama does is, no, the cabinet, I don't think, can decide on this, we'll put it to the economic subcommittee. So they very nicely circumvent the cabinet and they go to this economic subcommittee, which is the Royal College Committee.
Right.
And then that decides, and then the cabinet just approves it and sends it back.
Now then, in the meantime as well, of course, we've our economy is in absolute shambles. If you bear with me for just 1 minute, I'll go through some figures. In 2015, the US dollar, at the beginning of 2015, yes, that's when this government came into power, US dollars 131 rupees to the dollar. In 2018, today it's 168. 168. All right. Then we have the GDP growth rate, 4.4%, now down to 3.21%. The FDIs, that's a absolute shambles, from $544 million down to $492 million. And here's the big one, exports, so very essential to our economic survival. In 2015, 5.46 billion, that's 5,460 million. Down in 2018 to 3 billion, that's 3,000 million. That's about 5,400 minus 3 is 2.4 billion down. 2,400 million worth of exports down. Are we now wondering what has happened to our exchange
For us,
rate?
are you comparing 2017 and 18 or 2016 and 17?
15 and 18.
15 and 18.
By 18 we are still not
Well,
finished.
yes, up to the...
up to now.
Yeah,
Now.
so give it another 1,000 million,
Yeah.
1,000 will go, definitely.
and make it 4,000. Still, we are about 1,500 billion
down. Yes. So that's the state of affairs. Now, fondly, people say that our exchange rate is taking a beating because the U.S. Treasury, the U.S. rates are going up, and therefore the difference is tight. Well, that's only part of the story.
Yeah.
The other part of the story is that this government wants to let the exchange rate float free, and that it should find its own natural level. But do they realize what is happening? Ramal Jar Singh, the president of the National Chamber of Exporters, he said that he's calling for at least a temporary intervention to halt this slide. Because he says that over 90% of the exporters have inputs of 90%,
Precisely.
which is costing us more now.
No, and the other thing is for us, all this time, the increase of the dollar has been happening gradually.
Yeah.
I mean, not in an accelerated manner like this.
Yeah.
So we'll say an exporter who has to get down, or the inputs are 80% or 90%. So when they make an inquiry or when they give a quotation to supply, right, the supplier has budgeted at a certain dollar price.
That's right. Yeah.
So when the dollar is going at a rapid amount like this, we say 5 rupees a week or 10 rupees a week or 10 rupees a month, right? His pricing goes haywire, right? So he will never be able to be. We will never be able to, as a country, be competitive in the open market. That is why people like Bangladesh, India, China, Pakistan, all of them are industry-wise they are doing much better than garments.
I don't know how fair this statement is, but a viewer, and thank you for that. Remember, on Newsline, you can send your questions in by SMS 0772 300 305. And a viewer who claims to be in Rosmead Place says that, how come a fashion designer can be the Minister of Finance? Is that the reason why we are in such a situation? I don't know if that's fair comment.
Just to add to what Maitri is saying, if you take the local industry, after this government came, the local industry is getting closed. That's the most important thing. The China production has increased, and we are importing more of everything from China.
And they've just removed the cess on Pampers.
On Pampers.
Well, on
right. When there are factories opening up to do school uniform, even that factories are getting closed, because as a policy this government has decided to import from China and give to the school children. So what is happening to the local industry?
Well, what will
Not
happen
only
when
that.
they remove the cess and make this, it's not about making it cheaper. What happens is that people start losing their jobs,
No, the
because
previous
it's so much easier just to import.
With all criticism to the previous government had a policy, when you have the local industry, a 20% more pricing was given to the local industry to strengthen them. But here, what happens, might be one or two guys would have imported this and supplied, that's a different story. But you go in person, check whether the local industry is working, are they manufacturing, how many people are working, you do a study. And then allow them to do it. That is how you have to build up the industry. You're killing the industry just because you get some small santosam on an import of this fabric. You give every concession.
Are you on a political question? Are you considering joining that lot then?
No, I'm not considering to join any lot. All what I want is a truth to surface, and some remedial measures must be taken to solve these problems. But industry getting closed for us, again it's a problem with the government.
Definitely.
End of the day, all these people are on the street, on the road, all these drug addicts are of what? Because of this, no employment. So the local industry must be given the due place. They must be monitored.
No, and they must be protected. They must be protected. If there is a local industry.
This government is more concerned in giving milk packets, no?
Some of them were poisoned.
They gave poison only.
No,
See, with responsibility, now what they say is from the milk co this lorry comes, enters the mayor's residence.
Oh dear me.
Right? It enters the mayor's residence, from there it has come and gone, in out is there. So for us, see, attacking them when they were coming on a march is okay, face to face. You eat, I eat, that's a different story altogether.
Right.
But even our enemies, even our enemies for us did not give poison. If you take the southern war, if you take the northern war, nobody put poison in our water, no. Right? At least that.
There were some rules. There were some rules when you engage in this kind of thing. There are rules.
What sort of a war was this? In Sri Lanka's history, first time, we have our differences with the JO, no doubt about it. But never ever this has happened in this country.
And we don't wish it to happen to anyone else.
A small child that did.
Because for us, I mean, the right to come on a demonstration, come on a march is a fundamental democratic right.
What's happened to the Prime Minister's statement? It's now nearly 4 years, right? And so I'm wondering, because we've only got about just over a year left, what's happened to his 1 million jobs?
No jobs. No, the 1 million jobs got blasted with the Volkswagen company.
The Volkswagen. Yeah.
Volkswagen.
No, chewing gum never came.
Right.
Gold chains never came.
Yeah.
Bracelets never came.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi never came.
Right.
What do you expect?
No. Now they were banking mainly on this Volkswagen company in Kuliapitia.
Yeah.
3 months after laying the foundation stone, Volkswagen dream was blasted.
But that was all a lie from day one.
No, correct. But the point is this.
We have it on record that Volkswagen AG did not have any plans whatsoever.
They are insulting the intelligence of the people of this country.
Absolutely.
By bringing such bogus projects.
It's lies, and damned lies.
Lies and deception.
Yeah.
This government is all lies and deception.
And a significant departure from due process.
Definitely.
Every single thing, the bond, the roads, the Central Expressway, Mr. Kirialla, hello, and we have the procurement of coal, the procurement of energy, standby power, everything is a departure from due process.
Now for us, for you to become an ambassador, you have to go before a IPOST committee.
Right.
Right? Now, you see, all these institutions have failed. Many financial institutions have failed in this country. Why? Why can't you all appoint an IPOST committee to see who are the directors who are going into these places? Who are the chairmen who are taking into our corporation? What is their track record? What are the cases against them? All these crooks are put in various financial institutions, then state corporations, all these. Who is responsible? There again, it is the government. And end of the day, what? 5 years have gone. After 5 years, the next government comes and then start investigation. This is the time that we are spending.
An investor who went to the BOI told me a few weeks ago that although he made an application to the BOI and paid all the necessary dues and this, that and the other, finally when he was chasing them up, they kept telling him that it's gone to Mangalayapa. And when he checked up, Mangalayapa is at a institution called the Agency for Development. I don't know whether that has been properly formulated now or not, but some time ago it wasn't. And he used to carry a card that said it's under formation. Right. Anyway, what has Mangalayapa got to do with the BOI? Then scrap one or the other.
Exactly.
Why frustrate investors?
Now, when we were in Bangladesh, I told you, the president was so pleased. The amount of facility that an investor gets.
Oh, yes.
See, our Sri Lankans are in Bangladesh now.
Yeah.
Why are they going? Why aren't we getting people? No tax holiday. Nothing whatsoever is given to the investor. Who is the investor who will come into this country? Except for people who have robbed this country, who have kept the money abroad, are now coming to bring that black money into this country. That is what the ministers are helping. That is the truth and nothing but the truth.
For us, most of our garment manufacturers who are doing extremely well here, they are lock, stock and barrel moving out of Sri Lanka to Bangladesh, to India, right? So there is something wrong with our systems here. There is something wrong, and for us, I am telling you, you go to any government organization, you come out an angry man. There is no organization. Taxpayers are paying them money. These government servants are taxpayers' money.
Tomorrow from the organization, that is the garment factory organization, you can ask them how many factories have closed down in the last 3.5 years, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So that itself will very clearly show you where is our economy heading to.
Yes.
No, and the other thing is for us, all the people of this country are taxed for the simple reason to pay the government servants.
Yeah. Right.
They are being paid. They are being paid overtime. They are being given the best of vehicles, all that. And what do we get in return? What do we get in return? Taxpayers are paying taxes. Yes. We are paying taxes. But what do we get in return? We don't get any service in return. Yeah. If an investor comes here, the investor goes faster than he came.
Exactly.
Right? And now you need to pay money to ministers to meet them. Not to put the deal through. For a consultation with the minister, you need to put the money in. Otherwise, they don't even give a meeting.
Exactly.
So that is the seriousness of the corruption now. And I feel these captains know that their time is numbered, time is marked. Another 1 year more. So make as much as possible.
No, I've been always telling Farhad, we know that the previous government robbed. What is the motto of the Yapalna government? Is to rob 1 rupee more than Rajapaksa's. That's all.
That's all.
That's all.
It's so simple.
They are not interested in anybody. They are only interested in robbing. You can see it's happening now.
Can the people start a petition asking to remove the IGP?
Yes. Of course.
Yes. Can.
Of course.
Viewer, please start the petition. We'll take it on. There you go. So you were saying, sorry, I had to say that because it's a regular viewer from the morning.
No, what I'm trying to say is this 3.5 years, how much of corruption that we spoke during our campaign to bring this government to power.
Right.
The time and energy we wasted around the country, man, of telling what and what these buggers robbed. But what happened? Today, it is the same. It is the same. And what action have you taken? Nothing. Attorney General was so fast in taking Mrs. Maheshwaran to court. Attorney General was so fast in filing the case against Ravi Karunanak at the MC court. Right? A lawyer who has gone into who was summoned to the Attorney General Department threatened that his court will be removed if he doesn't give the way they want information. I have no time on this. There is so much of things to talk on this affidavit given by a lawyer and the threat that came into them.
And he's a senior lawyer.
A senior lawyer is writing to the Attorney General and the CJ of this country. So this is the state of affairs in the country. Who is going to bring law and order? Who is going to tell the officials what is your line? You draw your line here. You can't move faster than this. But this is the state of affairs for us. Who is going to bring the country into order is a big question.
For us, the bribery commission is in chaos. The Attorney General's Department is in chaos. The police is in chaos. Right now, these are 3 premier organizations.
The only hope is the judiciary.
Right. At least the judiciary is still.
Independent. We are very happy that it is so independent.
Very happy that the judiciary is seemingly independent. I can be a little
more. We have
seen it. Right, but other 3 organizations for us, right? They are totally gone, and over and above that, they want to bring in the death penalty.
And I think it's appropriate if I finish this evening's program by reminding everyone that the bond scam, even though we had a Presidential Commission of Inquiry, not a thing has been done. No. There has been no prosecution, and I'm sorry to say this, Governor Indrajit Kumaraswamy, but I know you keep saying that you're doing it and doing it and doing it, but it's 8 months later, and after the report was delivered to the President via some other place, by the way, nothing has been done.
No forensic audit.
No forensic audit. That's the one. No forensic audit. If we have a forensic audit, including at Sri Lanka cricket, we will find out all the robberies.
And it is his responsibility, the governor's responsibility to see that a forensic audit is done.
And at the end of the day, we must remember that finally today, the biggest news today was that Manik Samaravikramas has admitted that Arjuna Mahendran did have a hand in the Singapore FTA. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching Newsline Prime. We'll be back again tomorrow evening, same time, 8 p.m. to 8:30. Azad Sali, thank you very much.
You must increase the time at least by at least 1 hour at least for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
that's about it. Despite all the doom and gloom, remember Sri Lanka is an absolutely wonderful, beautiful place. Take care, God bless, and good night.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukat Ali.